Today you're going to hear from Ben and Sam, and these two are such an infectious pair and have become an invaluable part of my life and career over the past few years and have inspired me in so many different ways. Hilariously, most people think that they're twins, but individually, I think they've cracked the code to mixing friendship, work, and pleasure. Sit back and enjoy the ride as I ambush these two to a surprise podcast one sunny Monday morning. Let's welcome our today's guests, Ben and Sam. No, I've been corrected. Sam and Ben. It is Sam and Ben. Oh,
Sam and Ben.
That feels uncomfortable. I'm going to have to work on that. But today we are going deeper with my two dear friends who I met maybe in 2018.
Yeah. I could tell a story about how we first met.
Go for it.
Rocky beginnings.
Okay. Yeah, rocky beginnings. So we were filming an event and I just met Aaron and I was like, oh, look at this other guy. He's another thing. Like, we just started off in the industry. I was like, let's make connections with people in the industry, yada, yada, yada. And so we're filming this event and I go to Aaron. I'm like, oh, what did I say? I said, riveting stuff, isn't it? And Aaron turns to me and he goes, like fully gets up me about trying to have a chat with him.
Like a teacher scolding a student.
Like a teacher. And I was like, I even went over to Ben. I was like, fuck this guy. just a shush to me.
Is this a children-friendly podcast?
I have no idea.
Oh. It's going to bleep things? Or?
Yeah, you're going to have to.
There are buttons. I can do this already. Like. I don't plan to use those. Yes.
Anyways,
no,
yeah, no.
I'm ashamed of my behaviour, and I have learned I've never shushed anyone ever since. And to be honest, I don't remember doing that. But
Deny. I deny the allegations.
It's I'll put out a press release saying I was never there.
Okay.
I didn't do those first.
I appreciate it.
So yes, no. But what excited me about meeting you back then was the fact that I also was like, oh, here's two other guys. Like, there's this weird instant like you want to be friends with them, but you're almost like, it's almost competition, which is the dumbest thing to have in your brain because it's like, we're both there.
Yeah.
It's like, we're clearly both have the job. So it's like, why fight these inner, like, why does your brain instantly go to like, it's an enemy? Like, it's so bizarre.
At least we're in like, you mostly do photos when we're doing videos. So it's sort of like we're in the same boat, not too competitive. Yeah.
But even if we were doing videos, like, God, why would we fight the other people there? Like, it doesn't make sense.
There's enough bread for everyone to eat.
Yeah.
That's what Roy Colberg taught to me back in the day.
Yeah.
That's your mentor.
That's the Roy
the
boy. He's a good man.
He's a good man. I sound so deep. We're going deeper.
I put the bass up. Yes. Well, no. So I want to find out from you guys, how did you two meet?
Do you really want to know?
Yes.
Well, it's a bit of a long story. I don't want to go too far into it, otherwise we'll go back forever. But basically, I was in uni, met a girl on Tinder, and it was in like my last semester of uni, and I was planning on going back to Perth because I'm from Perth, and I was studying on the Gold Coast. And then I didn't have anywhere to live because I met this girl, and I was like, I'm going to have to stay here in Queensland, can't go back home. And so she was like, you should meet my friend Sam because he does film. You might get along with him. And then met Sam and I needed a place to stay. And Sam had a house that was completely empty. And so he very generously, without even knowing me, said I could live there rent free.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, it was a bold move, but luckily it
was a
worked
bold
out.
move.
Yeah. I think I just had I had an entire place to myself and I would just live between the kitchen and my bedroom. So imagine you have a whole house. You're like, I started living there when I was 17 and a half. And I just had the whole house to myself, but I had no need for a lounge room or anything like that. So my bedroom just became my
Everything.
my living room, my freaking, not my toilet, but
Only on weekends.
anyway, so it was nice to have someone in there to open up the house.
So it was more selfish than anything else that you brought me into the house.
Yeah. At the time I'd seen Ben's grad film as well, which was like far better than anything I'd ever made in my entire life. And I was like, I reckon if I get into bed with this guy,
And we did.
I reckon if I get into bed with this guy, then it's going to be good things for my future career. So
Lots
I
of
actually,
selfish motives.
yeah, it was
Hitching the wagon, I like
all
it.
Yeah, no.
completely selfish. Yeah, and then the rest
became
was
lovers.
history. Yeah.
Had you ever like just randomly invited someone to live with you without knowing them?
It was actually a bit of a running theme of the house. Like, so I invited my other mate, Kurt, to live with me there for a while because I was like, I just want friends.
He needs a friend.
I was living by myself for so long. So Kurt lived there for a while. I had another mate, JC. He lived there for a while. But you were the first like permanent. Oh, and before you was Jared.
That's right.
This other guy, he's a lovely chap. But then, it was kind of like a halfway house for people between school and the final stage of moving out, where they actually like pay rent and stuff like that. It was like a little, I don't know.
Really doing a service for everyone.
I was. I just wanted friends.
I need people. But so, like, how did you guys connect so well? And because, like, I've obviously only known you as the two of you, right? So, and we each independently have a friendship now, but like,
I think it was just a shared passion to try and do something, really, at the end of it.
There was a few drunken nights where we're like, so childish, but we're gonna make it, man. We gotta do it. We gotta make something of ourselves. And then now we're here. So clearly that didn't work.
no, you have made it. You have made it. You're in my kitchen.
We're on a podcast. That's huge.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had a grad film. How can I watch this?
It's password protected on Vimeo.
It's really good. It's called Nutcase.
Yeah.
It's a comedy film. And yeah, it was amazing. It almost got picked up by ABC, but then Ben had a go at
No, I didn't have a go. Basically, ABC, we were like pitching it to like make it a bigger show. And I had a contact at ABC. He was the head of comedy. And I had a meeting with him. And I went in there and met with him. And he was like asking me questions about old ABC TV shows, which I hadn't seen. And then he took that as I didn't care about TV.
Okay.
And so then the next week he was in Perth doing a what do you call them? A seminar in front of like hundreds of people. And he called me out because my friend was there at the thing. And he was like, it's really important that if you want to be in this industry, you have to know the TV shows that you're going on to. And he made a point of me being uneducated.
Yeah.
Anyway, he doesn't work there anymore. So.
Yeah, really.
He was a lawyer turned comedy head at ABC.
Well, that's a joke
You
in
know-
itself. Yeah.
The people who know comedy are lawyers.
Yeah, but I'm glad that it didn't work out because I don't think it was really the avenue I wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like we've got more going on here, more potential.
Will you let me watch it one day?
Yeah, you can see it. I would do it completely different if I could do it again. It was all locked up. Like they had big cameras at uni, and there was no real. Yet you had to get a license to use the Steadicam, and like no one took the time to do that. So everyone just had to film everything on sticks, pretty much.
Yeah.
And so it was very like flat, locked off thing.
Kind of work for the vibe, though, I
You
think.
reckon? Yeah. Anyway,
I'm very excited by this.
Very Wes Anderson.
it is very Wes Anderson.
So speaking of like uni and film school, what don't they teach you that should be front and center?
What Sam taught me, really. Like the practical, like realistically, most of the people that went to film school didn't continue doing film because they only teach you like Hollywood standard filmmaking. And there's not that many movies or shows to go around to give everyone a job there. And so you're left with all these skills that you can't work with. But when I went and met with Sam, he was like, here's a whole way to take those skills and put it into like a corporate or advertising world. And so then I was actually able to use all those skills every day.
Yeah.
But otherwise, everyone just like couldn't get work. And then they were like, I don't know how to make this, like realistically, corporate films and stuff like that, or corporate movies is a good way to like keep active and like keep working. And then now because of that, we're going back into it. But they don't teach you how to like workflows and clients and all that sort of stuff.
It's almost kind of like if you put that into a music perspective, it's like a band that does covers to pay the bills Monday to Friday, working on the originals, rather than just going at 18 or 16 or whatever, going, I'm going to make it big.
Yeah.
And then you don't, and you crash and burn. So it's like,
Correct.
kind of, it does feel funny. And I've heard that story 1,000 times from people where they don't film school doesn't actually seem to give you that grounding, that base
Yeah.
that people really need, and they get burnt out and then just
Yeah.
like,
It's
like-
not realistic.
Yeah, it's like, to put it back in the music perspective, it's like trying to go out and have your first thing be like get an album deal or something from a record label, as opposed to busking or something like that.
Well, they teach you. One of the teachers was like, "You're not going to work for most of the year, so you might as well learn how to paint houses." He was like, in my spare time, I paint houses so that I can like keep paying the bills. But why wouldn't you just teach in your spare time, learn how to do like corporate videography or like your own business, keep going with those skills, and then keep pitching for the Hollywood stuff?
100%.
Yeah.
Like, it's just keeping active. Now, how did you get how did you know what Ben needed to know?
Roy Kohlberg.
Yeah.
Roy Kohlberg, he went to my school, and then I met his mum at like a career day, and she was like, "Oh, my son works in the industry." Absolutely lovely lady. And I was like, at that time, I was like, I'll do anything. I'll fucking scrub toilets if I need to. I was like, can I come in? Can I meet him? Like, just to try and talk to people and figure out how they did it. And then she was like, yeah. And then I met him and we went for a coffee, and I was just like a wide-eyed young kid. And I was like, tell me everything. And then I was like, can I come watch you edit for a while? And then I watched him edit. But then I guess when you watch someone edit, you get to see all the rushes of the filmers, because he was just an editor. And then I had like an old camera that my brother gave me. And I went to my brother's graduation. There was like a Mercedes tent there. And I like filmed the cars and made a little edit out of it, and then sent it to Mercedes-Benz. And then they posted it on their on their Facebook at the time. And then someone saw that video and reached out to me to make a real estate video, and then I made their real estate video, and then
But
somebody
you
else.
like implemented the techniques that Roy taught you to know how to do the rest.
Correct.
Of it.
Yeah, to know what shots to get and how to do the interviews and whatnot. And the rest is history. It was a good time.
See, isn't that so cool? It's like the kind of almost like, what do you call it, ghetto style learning. And then you've got like a formal uni setting, but then you like put it together.
Very much. I was in film school at the time, but after I worked with Roy Kohlberg for a while, I dropped out of film school because I was like, I never wanted to do the Hollywood style. Ironically, with where we are now, I never wanted to do the Hollywood style filmmaking of like sets and like actors and stories and stuff like that. Like, I just wanted to make music videos. And so when I saw that that's what they were teaching at film school and not much else, I was kind of like, oh, also assignments. Who goes to film school to like analyze? That's the whole reason I went to film school, is because I was bad at like writing, and like I still can't spell. And then the fact that I go to film school and they're like, what's that movie that they always make you watch about the
Run Law.
No, about the old prime minister or something.
Citizen Kane.
Citizen Kane.
Yeah. It's black and white. Fucking old.
Watch Citizen Kane and write a report on it. I was like, fuck this. Are you kidding me?
Words, like text, it's just like,
Yeah.
please.
And
It's the complete opposite of film, isn't it?
Yeah, no. Anyway, so that's it, and then the rest is history. And then we made a YouTube video for a while, videos for a while, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah. I feel like that really solidified our characters as human beings.
you kind of find out who you are, just like you're doing right now.
So, yes, well, I'm finding very much out about you. Now, I'm going to jump ahead because I did have the YouTube question further down.
Okay.
But yeah, so what made you start doing YouTube stuff, and then what made you stop? Because you kind of had, like you were telling me the other day, you had like one video had like 40,000 views, and I've only ever watched the one you showed me the other day, which was hilarious, by the way. But
Which one was that one?
the giving the money away, I thought it was
wholesome.
hilarious. But
Yeah.
it's
Well, I think we started doing the YouTube because we lived in a corporate space where everything's so like, I don't know, not the most creative thing. And I think as people, we probably have more to give to the world than just making corporate videos. And so we am I too far away?
Gotta get in.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a creative outlet. But we also saw other people that were just like us doing it, and we were like, oh, well, if they can do it, we can probably do it here in Australia. You know, and so
Yeah, and then the reason that we stopped is because we had one big video, the Billie Eilish video, which was like Billie Eilish released a music video. It was in COVID, in lockdown. And I guess while we were trying to do it, we were like, if we just get one big video, that'll be it. Like, that'll get the ball rolling. Like, we'd be good to go. We'd be good to go. And then so Billie Eilish released this music video where she was like dancing around in a completely empty shopping center because it was COVID and it was all closed down. But here in Australia, everything was still open because it hadn't hit so hard. So we were like, oh, what if we dance around like Billie Eilish, like making a fool of ourselves, but the shopping mall's open. So obviously you would get the
reactions
of all the people and stuff like that. Yeah. And so we were like, oh, we're going to jump on it right away. Like, we got to do it. And like, we planned and shot that video in like a 1 day time span because we knew, because her video was like #1 on trending or whatever. And we were like, if we can just get our video as the video that people watch after that. And it was called like the exact name of her video. It had like almost the same thumbnail and everything, but it said, but the mall is open in the end. And it worked exactly like we thought it would. But then after that, we released like a few more videos and then we just went back to our normal viewership. And we realized that there was a core problem with the videos that we were making. Like there was nothing different about them as opposed to what everybody else was making. Yeah. It's not dead though. It will come back eventually in
a big way.
In a big way.
It's simmering.
It is.
Monday the 20th of November 2023. In a few years' time, this will be a timepiece.
This will be a timepiece.
I love it. Yeah. And you've signed the release form, right? Like
yeah. We do not do release form. We do.
We take control. So the other interesting thing I really want to find out with you guys is working so closely with someone from a relatively young age. Like, you guys didn't really go to business school. You didn't really, like, you guys are almost instant business partners working together without like a structure, without like a corporate document saying, hey, you can't call this guy a head. And, you know, you've got recourse to be like, you. Like, how do you manage the relationship both being so close personally and running a business together?
Yeah. We actually do have an official document about the company, and I am the chairman of the company. Just so that we know.
Do I need to call you chairman?
Okay. They had to you had to nominate a chairman of the company
and a secretary. Sam's a secretary and I'm the chairman.
So it just went by height, did it?
Yeah. Still 6 foot.
In shoes.
No. I think communication.
You're looking at him like, what can I say?
I had to teach Ben the art of communication. You know who taught me communication was my mum.
Yeah.
I think it's improbable to go through life, and I think this was one of the guiding philosophies in our early days was it's improbable to think that you're going to go through life and not have a disagreement with someone about one thing or another. So it's about learning how to have a disagreement. And we're not the best at it all the time, but I reckon
we're pretty good at it.
We're pretty good at it. Like, anytime, like, you can feel a Barney bubbling in a Barney's a fight. So you can feel a Barney bubbling in like the 15 minutes before it actually hits. And so when you're having a conversation, like when we both feel a Barney bubbling, the language will get very like
diplomatic.
It'll turn from like a normal conversation to like, the thing that I feel is that when you do this, it's not. And then, like, sometimes using that language, you can reel it back from like an actual Barney. And then, but then sometimes it just goes. And then you know it's a Barney when the door gets closed in the office, and it's like, okay, we're gonna do this. Like, let's go.
But you have to get it all out on the table, otherwise it will just simmer and be bad. So I think getting it all done and using the techniques of communicating.
Yeah. I think that's the other key thing is we never leave it. It's stupid to. We're both working towards the same goal. Like, we both want the same thing, and that's, I don't know, whatever we're arguing about to just be fixed. So if you leave a Barney and you still have this like thing in the back of your head that was like, I wish I'd said that, or like, oh, I've still got this other grudge about this other thing that I'm holding on to from like 3 weeks ago, but I'm not going to bring it up now. Then it's like, that's just going to fester and be bad. So it's like, whenever we have a Barney, it's after that Barney, it's a completely fresh
sled.
Fresh sled. It's like, okay, like all our problems are solved now. We're back being best friends, so there's no point.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
There's no point holding on to anything.
Like, you have a cigarette and you lay down and you talk about it
afterwards. And you always got to hug it out at the end.
Yes.
No matter how you feel, you got to hug it out.
Yeah.
And you don't want to hug, but the hug is like the closure.
Only been one time we've left without a hug. And that time we left without a hug, we were both driving home and I called Ben and I was like, let's not. let's not do this. And then so we met up at a park on our way home and we just talked it out for another 15, 20 minutes. And then that was, yeah.
See, I like it because it's like, it is okay to disagree with someone.
Yeah.
Completely.
Like,
It's going to happen.
we would all just be numb robots if we're like, yes, yes, yes. Like, but acknowledging it and not saying sorry, but like, working through it together and just being like, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's people really struggle with that, and you know, relationships and life.
I think Sam should move into like the speaking circuit and show people how to communicate. Sam is a master communicator. That is the only reason why we've got where we are. I'm good at making videos. Sam's good at you're good at making videos.
No, I'm not. That's what I was actually going to say as well. Sorry, you finished.
Oh yeah, no. I think we've divided our skill sets into I just focus on the work mostly. Sam obviously does a lot of work, but I make sure that we keep maintaining the standard, and Sam can devote his energy into making sure that he can like make people like us. Really,
Yeah.
Totally.
And yeah, that's the other thing I was going to say. That's the other part of the business is not just Barney's, but the clear roles. Well, not clear roles, but like understanding that one person's going to have strengths where, classic thing, one person's going to have strengths where the other person has weaknesses, and being okay with that. And I still struggle with that sometimes, but we work through it.
Yeah.
You know how like you're like, oh, it's so like boring to say that, but it's like there's basics in life.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And
You're
it's okay.
I think for a long time we tried to do the same thing, and then that was not productive. And
That
so-
just led to more fights.
yeah. And so once we like put lanes for ourselves, then we did a lot better in those lanes.
People management's a huge part of our
Industry.
industry and role and filming and all that jazz. Like, especially in a corporate commercial space, it's like it is a massive part of just like, one, we can't read people's minds. Two, we're not going to get it right necessarily every time that they say, hey, can you come make this? And it's like first draft mightn't exactly be what they were thinking. And it's like just working and talking with them and like fostering those relationships. So it's like not like, oh, those two weirdos came and filmed this thing. We are never getting them back again. Like it's a huge part of it.
It also helps that Ben's really attractive.
Yeah, you notice why we put him in the center. Yeah.
It's like if all else fails, at least we got a good looking bloke. Yeah. I want to know. I don't know.
I was going to flip the script as well.
I don't know whether this is an interview thing, but you, so loud, you are a weapon, an absolute weapon at people. We look at you in awe, and we're like, yes, just the one-liners and the like. You are.
You can command a crowd.
You are everything that we are not. You have. It's years of experience.
You know
So
what
how
you are? You are like we are both running at 50% capacity, and you are the 100%. Like we're half
Yes.
of you. Pretty much.
Yes.
It takes two of us to get one
us
of
to get
Aaron.
one of you. Yeah.
It's just treading water. That's all I'm doing. No, I don't know.
Where did you get it from?
I think I learnt it on the job. But to be honest, my grandfather was a people man. Like
I thought you were going to say pimp.
yeah, he's a pimp. No, he and his brother, so like I don't know, uncle, granddad, or whatever you call it. He was on all the time, like to the point where my grandma couldn't stand him because she's like, he just wouldn't say anything normal.
Yeah.
All he was doing was joking.
Yeah.
So I try and go halfway between the two. I do go to the wrong extreme most of the time, but I think those two. And I liked that. I was like, this is fun. It keeps the energy up. It keeps, I don't know, smiling is like a contagious kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like if you're putting out, I know it sounds dumb, but like I like to put out what I want to get.
Yeah.
And it's like if I can lift a room and make a normal situation not so normal, then it's like I don't know.
Yeah.
But like I'm genuinely a shy person deep down.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't believe it. Not for a second. You're lying.
And it's just, but like, if I walk into a room without a camera, I'm like, it's a bit harder. And I've had to actually work on that. Like, I've had to go like, and it's like my brain, if I go to a party or like a gathering or whatever you call them these days, because I never leave the house, but I'll walk in, my brain says, just hide in the corner and don't talk to anyone. Then I flip it and go say hello to everyone straight away. And you've broken every single ice there is to break. And then you know everyone.
Yeah.
Because there's that weird feeling I find, like, you know, if you're the first two people in a room and you can be in that room by like 15 seconds earlier than the other one, but the third person walks in, they'll feel like they're already behind.
Yes, that's interesting.
So if you're that third person, that's often me, I'll come in and just say hello to the first two quickly, and then like the ice is done.
Yeah.
And I'm in. I feel like not feel like I'm in, but like it's
You're
just
cemented in that gathering.
yeah. It's just kind of that's how I've worked it, and I've done that in a workspace, and I definitely try and I don't know. There's people I'm shy of, but if I'm like if my body's saying, oh, I don't know, they're a CEO or they're famous or something, don't go say hello to them. Be afraid of them. I'll go to them straight away and just break the ice. And it's like, they just look at you and go, well, who are you? Oh, he's a human. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's all done. I don't know. It's
That's
weird.
a great technique.
The other thing I've definitely worked out that I'm comfortable with rejection in a conversation. I can come up and someone can just not get me. They're just like, they look at me just like, why is he still talking to me?
Yeah.
I've clearly given this guy an indication. I have no interest in this conversation.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be everyone's
Cup of
cup of tea.
You're my cup of tea.
Earl Grey. So yeah, I think it's important. Like rejection is okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think, and I guess at events, because as a photographer for so many years, I've gone up to people. Can I take your photo? Nope.
Yeah.
You're like, okay. Early on, I'd be like, it'd bum my night out. You'd be like, oh, I don't want to do this now. And then you're like, it's okay. Not everyone wants a photo. Like, they didn't come to this event for a photo, so it's cool.
I'm still coming to terms with that. Yeah.
It's hard. It's a strange feeling. You guys are mid-20s.
Yeah.
to late
Ben's late 20s.
What's your mindset?
My mindset, and it's maybe a controversial one, that when I speak to people my age, is 20s, you've got so much like energy and stamina that you should really try and establish yourself now, and then you can enjoy things more when you're like 30 and 40. Whereas I think a lot of people, not a lot of people, but the classic mindset is travel when you're young, don't worry about your problems, like delay it until you're older. And you are going to have a lot of fun in your 20s, but I think I'll have a lot more fun in my 30s when I'm comfortable.
Okay.
I think it's fun to like dip into a bit of fun when you're 20s, but then it's nice to, if you're like going out, we have the same mindset, obviously. That's why we're in business together. But I think if you go out and have like, you just, I don't know, it's nice to go out, have a good night, have a bit of fun, and then come home. And when you're battling the scaries on like Sunday, it's like, oh, it's all good. I've got my shit sorted out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm working towards something. It
you
makes
know-
it so much more fun when you go out and have fun, knowing that you're also simultaneously working towards a future.
Yes.
What got you into that space? Like that seems to be like a really clever, smart position to be in, like just as your frontal lobes kind of developed. A lot of people fuck it up. Like what made you want to do that? Did you have a mentor, someone guide you? You saw someone else, you were inspired?
I don't know. I think I just had a few friends that were pretty well off and like comfortable in their life because of their parents. And I saw that they had a pretty good life. And I was like, I want to be able to enjoy my life like that as soon as possible.
Okay.
I have a very big, deep answer that I arrived to a long time ago. But, and this was like 18-year-old Sam, like laying in bed at home at night. I don't believe, it's deep, but I don't believe in an afterlife. So I reckon that you've got one opportunity here on this earth to live and to experience what it is to be a human. And I think that so you have that one chance and you want to make the most of it. And how do you make the most of it? Unfortunately, as much as it sucks, is you need money to make the most of it. Because you don't want to, if you want to wake up one day and be like, I want to get in a jet and go X or go Y, then you need money to do that. So it's like, okay, well, here's the two things. You got one life, and to do things you want to do, you need to make money. So what's the bridge between that? It's just to make as much money as possible. Pick the wrong industry to do that to me, by the way.
Yeah. Why didn't we do real estate? Like, my God.
I didn't figure that out until
Developing.
later, but now we're here.
Yeah.
But you also have to do something that you enjoy. Otherwise, it's never going to work out. You know what I mean?
I was discussing with someone the other day about when I remember distinctly being in like grade 6 and 7, and we had like they actually had like a little board devising up, and we had like a competition at an old people's home, like a press the buzzer and answer the question, like not Sail of the Century, but like,
Yeah.
well, I can't remember what it's called, but what was that called?
where you press, what is it again?
It's
Like they
game
ask
show
a
and-
question, a game show, and then whoever presses the button first gets to
I know
answer.
what you're talking about.
But anyway, so I was really good at general knowledge. Like, I don't know whether it was just my parents watching the news or whatever or something, but I just remember going, okay, like all my life I've been really good at general stuff. I've never been really able to like hone in or never had an interest in like really honing in on one thing. And I realized that this career and this job is very generalist because I'm going to different clients and different industries all the time and just getting bits and pieces. So like I'll be talking about, something happening in the parking industry because of a job. And then I'll come along and talk about the mental health space because I've heard something in a job and I llove it because it's just so general and you're just picking up lots of pieces rather than only being like so blinkered into one industry.
Yes.
And I only made this connection the other day that like, I think my body just pushed me in this path.
True. Do you think that's a lot of general knowledge, or do you think that's lots of individual instances of specific knowledge?
That's interesting. Is that just general knowledge?
But is that what general knowledge is? Yeah.
That's a hard one. It's a deep
Depends
one.
how we're going deeper.
Yeah.
Depends how far into it you go, I guess.
I think I can hear lots of like technical stuff at these jobs, and sometimes that's like, so I won't remember numbers and stuff, but I'll know that like,
So you're just getting really general knowledge.
I think really general. Well, it's my inability to retain that is probably the problem.
You know what's hard about that as well, just on that, is when you're making a video for someone about something really complicated, you need to understand that topic to make that video as best as can be. A little while ago, we made a video on biomedical manufacturing, and it was like we had to understand, firstly, we had to understand what biomedical manufacturing was, and then we had to understand the problem that was occurring in the biomedical manufacturing space, and then how the project that we were marketing was going to solve that problem, and then try and outline all of those things in a clear, concise way.
Yeah. But then you just move on to something completely different the next week.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, I like that. I love like you send a draft to a client on one industry, and then you literally continue on with the other, like the second draft or the one that the feedbacks come back on, and can be like totally different direction. And then like you send that one off, and then they've come back with their feedback, and you're back in this zone. It's it's forever just moving around.
But it took a long time to realize that. Like when we first started making videos, we just went off what we thought was cool, like a gut instinct of it. And we ended up making an architecture video for this architecture company. And we thought it was a really great video. And then we sent it to my friend, and he was like, all we did in the video was just film people like this is what we do. Just people pointing at things and like going. And he was like, it's a lot of people for an architecture video. Like we just completely didn't even think to film the houses. We just filmed people in the houses. Yeah. So you go.
It was more about the client's experience.
Wait, can I ask you what's your wants and goals?
Yeah.
Just be a great person.
Be a great dad.
You're doing that well.
Great dad. You are a great
Yeah.
Stop it.
I'm envious of your kids.
I think I've never been solely committed to a particular goal. I think I've been very fluid as to I'm happy to take whatever comes along. Once I had kids and my wife and things, I was just like, if we're happy as a unit, I think everything else will work out.
Yeah.
And I think like the simple joy you get out of your kids and wife and family unit is ridiculous. Like it's challenging. Holy Christ. Mondays are really exciting for me because of daycare and school. Yeah. But the weekends are amazing. They're exhausting, but like it's just so good.
Yeah.
And like it really did, not that I ever overly stressed over work, but it really did chill me out with the bigger picture. Like a deadline is a deadline. It's important, and the job's important, and getting it right for the client's important, and getting to the job on time and filming and doing whatever we do is all important. But it's not as important as your family.
Yeah.
And you just got to keep that focus. So it's like, I think as long as you put whatever makes you happiest above everything else, you will achieve the rest as well. Like, whilst respecting every part of it along the way.
And being happy the whole time.
And trying to be happy the whole time.
Yeah.
It's good.
That's life, isn't it?
I think, but it's also, I don't know, I think working by myself for so long, I think I've had a lot of downtime to just mull things over in my head. And I think silence and not busying yourself with like too much. Like I listen to music all the time, and I think that's part of my downtime. But like, I think sometimes I'll drive for like 40 minutes to a job, and I'm like, oh shit, I haven't put anything on yet.
Oh my God.
And it's like, I think just in your head,
You're
tugging away, and I
driving
think,
in silence.
yeah, and I think it's just clearing
Yeah.
your mind, and I think that's probably something that people don't do enough of because it's like, oh, listen to a podcast or watch a video or listen to a new album, and albums just getting pumped out, and there's just content galore.
Yeah.
because it's awesome and it's fun to watch and listen to. But it's like, I also think I think that is almost, like if I was spiritual, that would be a meditation thing. Like they talk about being quiet, being calm, and sorting out your mind. I think for me that's just silent driving. But I think that's a big part of it. Like having editing for 12 hours by yourself or whatever. I think that's a lot of time just mulling out in your head.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's a great technique.
That is great.
Sam can't relate to that. Sam will go to the toilet and he'll be watching TikToks. Like,
I can't stay alone with my thoughts for too long. It gets scary. It's almost like a coping mechanism. Like I have to consume content all the time just to fucking battle things.
So mentor route. So you had Roy from a film kind of point of view.
Yeah.
You feel your mum influenced you from a communication.
Yeah.
Do you think Ben has become a mentor for you and vice versa?
Yeah, definitely. I think Ben pushes me to push beyond what I think I could do. And
I think Sam pushes me to think that we can always be doing better than what we're currently doing.
yeah.
Well, I'm always pretty, not content, but I always feel like we're doing pretty well. And Sam's like, it's not good enough. And so we always got to do better. And it's good. We just keep pushing ourselves in different ways. But I think Roy was a first mentor, and Sharon, that got us to where we are now. And then now, I feel like everyone is a mentor in their own little, like you are a mentor to us in a lot of ways, professionally. And as a good person, we look up to you. But then we also have like the people that we work with, they've become mentors. All of them, really.
Yeah.
Anyone can be a mentor if you want to learn from them and if you respect them.
Do you think it's just being open to the kind of, when you're talking to people or watching people work, it's just kind of stepping back and looking a bit and just like looking at what's going on and how they're doing those interactions and their choices and things like.
Well, I think it's pretty fortunate for us being younger. It's like you automatically take a bit of that, like not lower, but you're like, so everyone else around you has so much more life experience. So you can always learn something from everyone. And then if you show interest in learning something, then the more you show interest, the more people are willing to give. Like we have people at Springfield who are just like, I don't know, just older corporate people, and they're like, we can learn so much from. Like sometimes people who you wouldn't expect you would learn anything from, they teach you. So
yeah, and I think that's an interesting point on being like where our goals were of doing stuff while we're young. Like when you're in your 20s, everyone wants to like impart something on you, or they also look at you, and if you like trying to do well, they're like, oh, I respect that you're trying to make something of yourself. And so there's almost like more opportunities in that. But if you were to like enter the corporate space or any space when you're like 30, 35, people aren't going to have that same attitude of like trying to help you out as much. So you really get a lot of benefit if you try and do it younger. People respect that.
Do you feel there was ever a part of your journey thus far where you thought you knew more than you knew and you weren't willing to kind of absorb and maybe put out a front that like, no, we got this, we don't need to learn from you?
I think you almost never let go of that a little bit. Like, but then you get humbled every now and then. You know what I mean?
That's the important part, is the humbling.
Humbling. Like when we first started making videos, we were like, our videos are the best videos in the entire world. Look at these other videos.
Well, they are. Yeah.
These are shit. And then like now we go back and we watch our old videos. We're like, oh my God, what were we thinking? And then it's good to have that perspective back, because then we look at our videos now and we think, these are incredible. And like they are. But just imagine where we're going to be in 5 years' time looking back on our videos now. And there's so many things that like our color grades used to just be fucked.
Like black and white almost.
Like we would pretty much just like send the client the log footage.
Yeah.
And so but in the time we didn't see it there. So then now when we look at our video now, I'm sure there's something like, whether it's like the sound mixing or whether it's like the color grading and stuff like that. Like we see it now and we're like, look at it, it's great. But then in 10 years we might look back and be like, oh my God, we used to pump so many blues into the shadows. Or something.
It's all learning. Right?
But then you apply that. Sorry to cut you off. Then you apply that to everything else. Like you know that where you are now is good, and you can be so much better in a few years looking back at that. But if you apply that to videos, but then also relationships and like business mindset or anything, like you always know that you're going to look back and you're going to be better there than you were here. So there's obviously a gap to bridge, and that is learning from people.
And I suppose if you're not, like there's nothing wrong with looking back and going, my work now is better than then. Because if you're looking back and go, that work was better then, it's like, might be going in the wrong direction. Get me out of here.
Yeah.
All right, well, on that business sense, having spoken to you guys over the last couple of years and things, like you definitely have your financial mindset and business mindset much more screwed on than I did at mid-20s.
Do you reckon? I feel the opposite. Well, not the opposite, but I feel like we're not really running a business.
Yes.
We always thought we were running a business, but we're really just, I don't know, what would you say?
Slaves to a contract. No, I think running a business is like hiring employees and like doing that so you're not on the... What's that book?
Which one?
The when you're on the tools. We're on
The
the
Alchemist.
Tools. The Alchemist. No, not The Alchemist.
Anyway, maybe on.
Moving on. We're on the tools all the time.
Yeah.
Like...
You can't turn that into a business because you are the commodity like that you're selling. You know, like we couldn't go do other work because they'd be like, and like replace us with someone else because they'd be like, well, we like you.
Yeah.
And especially in this industry, like you are so good at talking to people in a room. So like that's kind of what they're paying for also, the Aaron to run the show and take the photos. If you were to just take that job and then sub someone else in it, they'd be kind of like, well, we wanted you. And that's not really a business you can expand. So I feel like we haven't really done.
Really, if you want to run a film and TV business, you need to, or a video production business, you need to at no point pick up a camera or pick up some editing software.
Yeah. But that requires a big leap of faith in like taking a massive pay cut because you have to pay everyone else to do it.
And trusting other people.
And trust
to turn up.
Yeah.
Yes, did I ever tell you that story? Like when I was trying to expand and hire people and things, and I was like doing a kind of Brisbane, Newcastle, and Sydney, and like you get a call on a Tuesday from the Sydney guy. He'd be like, "Oh, I'm sick for this weekend's jobs." And you're like, "It's Tuesday, mate. I think you'll be right." "No, I'm sick."
And then what do you do?
I either found someone else or I flew down. I can't remember, but you just stay like, "Oh."
Yeah.
So like, I cannot, especially in our industry where like the lure to get a higher paying job easily kind of is there. So like, I committed to work 2 weeks away with John at this rate, but then Jill's come along and said she'll pay me double to do her job.
Yeah.
So sorry, it's like, but you committed. So it's like,
And then also the more you charge, the more you feel obligated to do it yourself because you know you can do it the best.
So how do you reckon you break that mind battle of going, if I train someone and hire someone, it's okay and they will do a good job, or
I think you got to...
Oh, well, obviously we don't know the answer. Otherwise we would have done it.
Yeah. Get different clients that you never... get new clients that you never have anything to do with.
Like from the get-go, you establish yourself as a production company and like you can meet with them and talk through the concept and be like, all right, well, this is how it works. We're going to send out these people and they're going to manage it through to us and then we sign it off. But yeah, you'd have to do that you'd have to go out, find new clients and set that tone from the start.
Yeah.
You can't have a client that you've worked with for like 5 years and then be like, all right, I'm getting Timmy to come and do it.
Yeah, Timmy doesn't know how to turn the camera on. Bloody Tim never does. Okay, what about, so with your, or thinking, like not necessarily the business and the way you're thinking of trying to grow and have something you can sell or whatever, but like you guys have invested in a property as a business, or is this personally?
This, I guess, I don't know. It's 50-50, obviously. Yeah. But it's not the business. The business hasn't got it.
But like what made you want to invest your money rather than just be 25-year-olds and do dumb shit with it?
So I could be 35 and do dumb shit with it. Do a lot more dumb shit with it. Well, obviously we make videos for people in the property space. And so we've seen the benefits of people who have done that. And so it would be silly of us to spend so much time specializing in property-based videos and then not take a leaf out of that book and try and go down that path. You know what I mean?
As well, someone said something a while ago to us, and it was, I never got this, but like your salary doesn't make you money, your investments make you money. I was like, when someone said that, I was like, because I still couldn't understand, like, even if you're on like $500,000 a year, it's still going to take you like 5 years to make $1 million. And like, is that right?
10 years.
10 years.
And also you got to pay half of that to tax.
Correct. Yeah. So
So
it's
you'd
just
take you
like,
20 years to earn $5 million if you'd had a $500,000 salary.
which is
And then there's living expenses as well. So where to go?
and like a $5 million house isn't even like jaw-droppingly incredible. So it's like, oh,
Something's gotta change.
Something's got to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've had that kind of revelation in the last couple of years where I'm like, yeah, me as a working guy making like personal income, that's never going to grow beyond me working on that income.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's a funny, like,
Why don't they teach that in school?
somehow I missed that lesson. Yeah, I don't know whether I was late to school that day or something, but
They don't. No one tells you that.
Yeah.
No, that needs to be like printed up as you walk through the school doors and just drilled into people every single day of their lives.
I definitely think, the financial side of education is not there. But also, at the same token, like, I don't think my brain was ready to hear something important like that at age 17, 16.
We always learn things the hard way. Like, or we can have someone tell us something a million times, but until we actually learn the lesson ourselves, I don't know. What's an example of that?
That probably comes back to us just thinking that we know everything.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know. In every bit of life, we learn the hard way. But I think also with that property, we think things through, but I don't think we think them through too much. Like, we've just sort of committed to it, hoping for the best. But realistically, there could be a very bad side to that. Like, imagine if you don't get someone to tenant it, and then you're up for like 40 grand a year in repayments, then you're screwed. So I don't know. I think we just do what we think is right, and then just hope for the best. Figure it out.
yeah. Well, risk reward, right?
Yeah.
And like, even if you go bankrupt next year, you got plenty of years to make up for it.
Exactly.
You're only 25. If you had to change careers right this second, Sam, what would it be?
Do I have to pick a career? Can I just go to Bali for like 5-6 years?
Done.
Or if I had to change career, I'd probably go into something wholly and solely content creation, like wise.
So you'd stay in the same career.
I'm not good at anything else. I could not do anything else physically.
Ben? Besides modelling?
I would go into property, probably. I don't know. It seems fun. I like houses. I like styling houses.
Where will you be in 5 years?
That's such a hard question. There's so many plans.
So
Way too many plans. She's just got. I guess. Why would I? Do you have an answer?
I think in 5 years we'll be on the right path, whatever path that might be.
Cool.
There's so many different variables that could go, and you sort of just you have to be open to knowing that any one of them could be the right path. But I'm a firm believer in it's all going to work. Like,
If you do the right thing.
Yeah.
If you do what you think you should do, you'll end up where you want to be.
Yeah. In whatever capacity that looks like.
See, I think for me, you guys have definitely changed my life and mindset from like being open to change, and two, like, and understanding that you can learn a lot from people younger than you. Like,
You reckon you can learn stuff from us?
I learn heaps from you, and I did.
I'll give
for
an example. Yeah.
Okay, so it can be as basic as
Not shushing someone.
yes. I just swear to God, I didn't do it. So when the very first time I met you guys at that health symposium, I looked at you and went, "They're not dressed for a corporate. This is crap." Like, but months or years or whatever it was, I was like, actually, you know what? It is more sensible to be comfortable to do our job whilst being neat and respectful, which you guys always are relatively. You're not dirty.
Yeah.
But so that was like the first thing. And then from there, that kind of opened the door for me to be like, okay, like, not everything that I know is right. And I can kind of backtrack and just observe. Like, it was just a really interesting, not that I was ever like ageist, because like, I know I always felt growing up that, the older people would be like, oh, this is how you do it. And that's all you're doing. You're forever going, no, it's not. I'm going to do it my way. And then you kind of go, oh shit, some of those things I was saying were right, but also it's a new world. And I kind of feel you guys fit right into, the world has changed tons, right? Like in my old days, we just had a phone. I had a mobile phone in high school in like grade 11 and 12 maybe, that had like Snake and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Bounce.
You guys have basically come out of the womb with an iPad, almost.
I think that's the generation
that's the-
after us.
yeah.
After us. Okay, well, yeah.
I still had dial-up internet.
Yeah.
But like, so you guys, I think for me, fit right in the space where I can learn the most from, because I think
learn how to
this
stay
is
young
almost unique to
too
you
kind.
guys. Like, you guys are trying to achieve. I know. I just think you're smart, and I think you're.
You're the wrong person.
Yeah. Look, sorry.
Stop to me. You're not wrong.
No, I just like that you guys are trying things different, I feel, than what other 25, 27-year-olds are trying to do.
Oh, thanks, mate.
And I like it because I think you're still maintaining you, like the essence of you guys. But I can definitely just see this growth of like, okay, we're watching different people and we're taking influence from different people in our life and applying it and like just growing. And I think that's really important. Like, because there was definitely moments over the years where I'm like, oh, these guys are cocky little for 5 minutes. And then, but then it's like, okay, no, they're trying to grow and they're coming.
What was one of those things?
Oh, I think, fuck, this is lame.
When I told you
lame
to
as
turn
hell.
the light down on Bob Shuffle's face or something.
No, that's just in my Ben folder. No, I think I had a job. You took a memory card out of my drone or something and just started filming on it because your card had filled up.
No,
and I was just there
we
going,
wouldn't have done that.
We just took it out of
You
your drone.
took it out of my drone that was.
And where did we put it?
This was like the first festival of learning. Your card filled up, and you just went and got it and started using it. And then you came over and said, "Oh, by the way, I've got your memory card out of your drone that's over there."
That would have been me, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was you. And I was just there like, I was just like, holy fuck, the confidence of this little fuckhead.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Yeah, it blew my mind. But I
Sorry.
was like, luckily nothing was on there and it wasn't important. But I was just there going like, whoa.
As if you didn't get up at that.
That's what I really like about you is that I feel like you see stuff going on and you could, like, I guess what you did to that lady or what you didn't do to that lady in the supermarket, like you could come as a voice of authority and say stuff and you have every right to do it. But you sort of just, I think it's your dad in you, is that you sit back and you like let people learn in their own way.
Yeah.
Like there's so many occasions in this shoot that we're doing at the moment where I'm like, Aaron's definitely thinking some things right now. Like we're doing it wrong and he's not coming over here and schooling us, but he's like letting us learn. And you have a lot of patience, I think, to let us do that. It's a great skill set.
You're a good man.
I think that stems from, I think sometimes when someone tells you something,
You don't listen.
you're not open.
Yeah.
Like the door's not ready to kind of let that information sink in. And
Yeah.
I'm definitely, and my wife will attest to this all day long, is that I need to do it wrong before I learn. Or I need to be told and it might just sink in for however long. And then I'll be like, oh, I get it. So I'll often come back to her and I'm like, da-da-da. And she's like, yeah, I told you that already. I'm like, oh, but I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I think that's okay. Like I've learnt that trait about myself and it's like, I can be so frustrating to people. And particularly like I don't often, someone will tell me something, I don't respond with an answer. I remember my friends telling me years ago, they're like, Aaron, can you just say yes or no, or just acknowledge that we've said something? Because like sometimes I just don't feel that.
Like in an email or in a conversation?
just in a conversation.
Deadpan.
Just say something. Yeah. But I think the same thing happens on the shoots with the doco. Is like you'll be like, oh, Aaron, what are you thinking? And I'm like, I don't actually think I'm thinking anything. I think I'm just
Observing.
observing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, and also I think particularly on we always particularly on corporate jobs or whatever, you get tapped on the shoulder. Oh, that's a great shot over there. But like, there's a shot that's happening in the camera, and there's a shot that's happening, that's not in. So there's so many different factors going on that, like, if you see something wrong, and obviously you point it out, but it's like you don't know anyone's absolute creative vision at any one time.
Yes.
So it's like I just don't feel I feel you
describe
kinda-
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your creative vision is usually better than ours. Please just say so. Yeah. Please.
And okay, so while
You
while
sure
we-
you?
Wait, just before we move on, can I just say sorry for taking your SD card out of your camera? That was very rude of me. I can't believe I did that. Sometimes people tell me things that I've done and it just sounds like the most horrific thing ever. And I think that must be like a different person, but clearly I'm just a bad person.
You are very entitled.
It it obviously had no effect on me, and I forgot about it straight away. So what are we, 5, 6, 7 years later, and I'm still talking about it. Actually, my favorite thing I think I've ever said to you guys is, I think we were talking about like shutter speeds or something, and you're like, we finally got some NDs, and we're not shooting like high shutter speeds, and I'm like, yeah, I noticed that. Like,
That was only like a year ago as well.
No, that was like a year and a half. Yeah. We just shot on
Everything at 1/4000th of a second shot speed.
Yeah.
It worked.
It worked.
It worked at the time.
Yeah.
content has changed. Like people aren't. It's not about. You know how it's like that you can be technical or you can get the shot.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's more important just to get the shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we were operating in a different space at the time. Low budget corporate stuff. No one was paying $500 and then looking at the shutter speed. You know, no
You
one
just
cared.
had this like prick of a photographer over your shoulder. Like,
Would you look at our cameras and look at the little screen?
oh no, probably not. It's too hard to see shots.
Yeah.
But I
No,
think.
but look at that. Did you ever see one?
Oh, you know, I definitely saw like 2,000 and 3,000 and stuff like 3,000s and whatever, and I was just like,
Is there anything that we do now like that you're like, that you think, oh?
no. If like to be honest, I watch you guys now from a learning. Like I watch
do
you
you
to
mean?
go, okay, what can I take from you guys and the shots that you're choosing to do? And
Yeah.
if I see something, I'll be like, oh, what? Yeah, like anything. Like sometimes the person not involved in that moment can just see things a bit further away.
Yeah.
But I think like my style is not your style and your style is not my style. So I'm looking to go, hey, what can I take to put into me, to put into my work?
Me.
So it's like
both of us at once.
so it's it's just kind of I think
It's too sweet.
but like anything in life, that there's certain things you guys do in your work that I'm like, oh, that's just not my thing. Like I know you guys do that orbit kind of
Oh yeah.
shot,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it just doesn't tickle my gooch.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's just not a thing. So, but I look at it and I'm like, oh, should I try it? Like it's not like I don't have like a love hate thing. Like it's just like, is that my thing?
Yeah.
Okay, no, maybe yes, no. Like, and I'm like that with all things. I'm like, I'm trying not to be a judging asshole in my life. So it's like when I see something I don't like, I kind of say, okay, why don't you like it?
Yeah.
Be open to it. Think about the other story behind that person. Like, why are they doing that? It might be their outlet. They might have a really stressful job. They might have a really stressful partner or whatever.
Yeah.
They're doing something that I'm finding annoying right now, but that might be really important to them. So it's like,
I think that's why there's enough bread to go around for everyone, because we are different in our approaches. Like I look at your videos and I'm like, oh, they're so clean and professional, which is not us.
Seriously, no.
And so that's like people will come to you for the clean and professional stuff, but then they might come to us for the more out there
Social.
We've
We've got this term for when anything's like kind of dodgy. We just call it social.
like something slightly out of focus or way too shaky. It's social.
I tell you what, if you want to like hate on yourself, is like export every frame out of a video in Photoshop and click through and see how many are in focus and how many aren't.
Jeez, yeah. Well, if you film everything at 100 frames per second, you're 4 times more likely to have a good shot.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a way to get more stills out of it.
Yeah, we do a lot.
See, I'm looking over here now. This is just a fun one. What's more important, the shooting or the editing?
The editing.
Definitely the editing. That's why we don't take photos. That's like people ask us to take photos and we're like, no, you don't understand. When you're editing, you have so much room
To
and
save the shoot.
To save the shoot, to fix this shot or that shot, or like, I don't know. If you do a horrible shoot, you can just chuck it full of like transitions and VFX and stuff like that. And it's good to like completely save it. But a photo, you take a photo, that's your moment. And
Yeah.
it's like,
You can't chuck music under that photo, or someone's like,
God, I wish you could. I tell you, some of my most favorite photos are the ones I haven't been allowed to use. Or not allowed to use, but there's been something wrong with it. Like, it just wasn't sharp at that point, or like something's gone. Like, I've done something wrong to it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I really hate having to like not select this one. But it's like you've also just got to move on.
What's your priority, shooting or editing?
In video, I would agree that the editing it can save the day for sure.
Yeah.
And it has 1,000 times, but
Yeah.
stills is a different world, obviously, because yes, you can remove stuff, but you can't if the person's not in focus or the eyes aren't in focus. You're out.
Yeah.
You ever Googled how to sharpen an out of focus photo?
Oh, like I've definitely sharpened soft, but like if it's like out of focus, you just
Go on.
I reckon we're not too far off being able to AI put something back into focus.
surely like
Because you can get really old photos now that like are just generally soft and it will sharpen it through AI. Pretty crazy.
it's beautiful.
I hate myself. While we're talking about AI.
We're trying to keep our jobs. All right. Well,
Is that it?
thank
I'm
you.
sad though.
I know, I kind of want to keep going.
I kind of feel this will be one of many. There's so many facets. We haven't even talked about the doco.
Yeah. Just come back every year.
I think every month. Ben, Sam, Ben, thank you very kindly for joining me on this adventure. It was beautiful to go a little deeper. And I think I had all these questions had been like pressing me for so long, and just I knew there was more to you. And often at jobs and stuff, like we're busy, so we can't often like chat.
Yeah.
So it was nice to go a little deeper.
Go deeper. Thank you for having us. Thanks for ambushing us on this morning.
Yeah, well, the cat's out of the bag now, so I can't really hide it next
Yeah,
to it.
now we
so.
know. You have to keep making more extravagant excuses as to why you need our help or something.